Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Happy June. Oh my goodness. I'm loving. Are you loving the warmer weather?
Mixed in with the cool days, I am.
Okay, mixed in. A little bit of everything.
Cool nights.
I love it. Oh, the nights, the days has been lovely.
Yes, the evenings have been lovely. So, well, this morning, as you see, my topic is That Just Blew My Mind. And it's a new month, which means a new theme. And the theme this month is foundational to our new thought teachings. We really do put a great deal of emphasis on what is occurring between our ears, and rightly so, because we are a thinking organization, right? We know that what occurs in our minds informs everything in our lives, from our relationship with the divine, to our relationship with ourselves, to our relationship with others, to our relationship with work, money, play, health, and as we know, the list goes on and on. It just affects everything. So it occurred to me that perhaps it would be wise for us to give some focused attention to that valuable real estate. And so we will spend this month minding the mind. To set the tone for today, I want to share a quote from Holmes. Not Ernest, not Sherlock, but former Supreme Court Justice Oliver Wendell Jr. We had a dog named Oliver Wendell Jr., but we're Homer, so anyway. But it was Oliver Wendell Jr. who said, "A mind that is stretched can never go back to its old dimensions." Wow. Isn't that true? Sometimes you think, oh, couldn't I just not know that? Please? Once we know it, we can't go back. Have you ever had your mind blown when you've taken on a new spiritual concept and then never been able to look at life the same way again? I can clearly remember the first time that happened to me. It was when I was 17, and I first walked into the Whittier Church of Religious Science to hear Terry Cole Whitaker speak. And I heard that God was not a man in the sky sitting on a cloud wearing a gold G on his chest and judging me. These are things that I had kind of pictured in my mind from my childhood upbringing, the religious education I'd had as a child. Rather, I heard for the first time ever that God is the energy of all life, the creative impulse behind all things, the very essence of love, and that everything is created out of this energy, including me, meaning that I am spirit in form, God in expression. And I have to say, when I heard these words, I knew in my heart of hearts that they were true. That's how I knew that I had found my home, right? That was absolutely mind-blowing for me. And I just knew that I was home. And at the same time, I was beginning the most important journey of my life. I knew that my life would never be the same again. So I'd like to hear from you. What concept, just give me one, was mind-blowing for you? Oh, Rich in the back there.
I had read this book called Illusions by Richard Bach, and it really stirred some things in me. And I wasn't raised in a religion. My dad had been a Catholic. My mother had gone to Christian Science, Sunday school, but I didn't know anything else about that. So I never went to church, and so I didn't know what a church was like. And then a friend at work said, well, after I showed her this book and she read it, she says, well, why don't you go to church with me? I think you'd really enjoy it. So I went to a religious science church, and I was blown away. It was just, wow. I could not believe that all of a sudden there was something that had my beliefs. And so the next Sunday, she said she was going to go to church. I called her and said, are we going to church? And she said, no, I was out late last night and I can't make it. And I said, oh, okay. I was really disappointed. But anyway, 31 years later, she's still my wife. And she's also living there. And
That was me.
what was the interesting thing about this was my mother,
After she passed away, yes.
who had passed away, she had taken, and we were going through the thing, she had taken religious science classes.
Wow.
And
In the 40s.
Subscribed to the
In the 30s and
Science
40s.
of Mind
Yeah.
magazine, and she had some from the 40s.
Yep.
Wow.
So I was getting
But he never knew that until after she passed away. And we got married in the church, and she never said a
She
thing.
never said
Yeah,
anything.
it was just amazing. So, anybody else have an aha? Oh,
I do. I moved recently, and I was going through my books, and I found this book by Matthew Fox.
Yes.
Oh, he's so wonderful. And it's called Wee 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 All the Way Home. And I just opened it to a page, and it blew me away because I realized, well, what it said was that in order to have a direct experience of the divine, you must have sensuality. You must be able to be sensuous, in other words, feel in the body. And I realized how I had numbed my body out as I gotten older, not thinking about sex so much, just
Sure.
and relating that. But I just started, it blew my mind, and I just started like eating a peach over the sink and letting the juice drip up my arm. And walking on the beach
Feeling this.
and feeling the cool water on my legs
Oh.
and the warm sun on my shoulders and the breeze. And I tell you, I just really started to see God in everything again. And so that at first it really, I went, sensuality, it's like,
Yeah.
you think about, it doesn't have to be about sex, it's about feeling of the body.
Everything, yeah.
So that would be my most recent, and I'm loving it. I'm practicing it, driving this morning. I'm looking at the brown hills and then the trees. It's so different from my landscape, and just having such gratefulness for being able to just feel the land a little bit more.
Well, that brings you in the present moment too,
Yes,
the
it
now.
will, yeah.
Wow.
So yes.
One of my significant first experiences, I've had many over the course of my life, but when I went into labor with Jennifer, and it woke me up. I had a lady kind of woke me up, and I just went into kind of a giddy, kind of effervescent bliss with the realization, oh my God, I'm gonna bring a life into the world today. And so I just quietly got out of bed because I just wanted to hug the experience to myself. So I went to the living room and I tried to pull my knees up to my chest, but of course there was a belly in the way. And I hugged it and I went, oh my God. And then I heard a voice say, wow, Joy, isn't this amazing? We're gonna be bringing this new life into the world today. And I went, and I realized for the first time, I'm not who I think, there's a spirit that's experiencing this through me. And it was a voice, and we were really able to connect in a way that I'd never connected before. Because the voice was right there in my head, wow, isn't this amazing?
Wow.
And I went, yes. and then my husband could just say, are you okay? I have fever. Yeah, it was
Anybody else?
wonderful.
Mine was on meditation. Years ago when I was younger, I had a really, at that age, I guess they all do, we all do, bad time in my life. And I didn't want to think about all the crap that was going on. So I'm looking at old books and all this, and I came across the book Lawrence LeShan, How to Meditate. And it was so simple, it's only this thick, and I bought it. And I learned how to meditate, Lawrence LeShan's message. And Joy is right. I had all these voices and all these messages and all these other experiences that I didn't ever knew exist, and they took place of most of 90% of the bad things, because I knew there was other things out there besides what was going on right then. It's the meditation. Suzanne has just several forms of meditation, and more than I do. But I used to put a sign on my bedroom door that do not disturb from the hotels, because they would know little that mother was meditating in her bedroom. But the meditation, like Joy said, there's so much out there that we're not aware of, and comes to us.
Yeah.
It comes to us.
You
when
open
we
yourself up
meditate.
to that.
When we meditate.
Beautiful. Well, it's our intention to blow your mind in such a way today, and in such a very real and important way. Well, maybe not literally explode. You've seen those commercials where the little purple comes out. It's like, we're not going to do that. But we're going to expand it in such a way that we can't go back. We can't go back. So is everybody ready for that? All right, let's go. I want to read and unpack a powerful message from Ernest Holmes in The Science of Mind. The first part of it may seem obvious, and you will probably agree with it. However, there's a sentence at the end of it which could bring up some stuff for you. But bringing up stuff so that we can have our minds blown, well, I'll settle for expanded, is the plan for today. So let's unpack this message on page 295 of The Science of Mind. As God's thought makes worlds and peoples them with living things, so our thought makes our world and peoples it with our experiences, and I will add, individually and collectively. By the activity of our thought, things come into our life, individually and collectively, and we are limited only because we have not known the truth. That is so powerful to get our minds wrapped around that concept, isn't it? We create our own reality. I create my own reality. I love this wisdom from Charles Fillmore, and this is a book that he wrote, Atom Smashing Power of Mind. I love that, Atom Smashing Power of Mind. He says, to be ignorant of mind and its laws is to be a child playing with fire or a man manipulating powerful chemicals without knowing their relationship to one another. This is universally true. And all who are not learning about mind are in danger. They are in like danger because all are dealing with the great cause from which springs forth all conditions that appear in the lives of men and women. Mind is the one reservoir from which we all draw all that we make up into our world. And it is through the laws of mind that we form our lives. So yes, we really do create our own reality. And the reality we create is limited for one reason and one reason only. Because we have not known the truth. Or we know it for a little bit and then we forget it. And then we remember it again and then we forget it. So it's kind of a little bit of a jerky motion there. So what exactly is the truth that we have not known? It is the very concept that blew my mind when I first walked into the Whittier Church of Religious Science. And that is God in me, as me, is me. We forget that we are a divine expression of the one, that we are not separate. The moment we move into discomfort and unhappiness, it's because we forget. It's not that we become separate. That never happens. You know, God never turns away from us. We turn away from God, but God never turns away from us. Continuing the Holmes quote, he says, "We have thought that outside things controlled us, when all the time we have had that within us, which could have changed everything and given us freedom from bondage." It's already right there. It's already within us. Jesus told us, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." Now here's the next sentence, which we might find a little uncomfortable. We automatically attract to ourselves just what we think. Just what we think we are. And we may set it down that wherever we are, however intolerable the situation may be, we are just where we belong. We are just where we belong. Yipes, that can sound a little cold
Well, that brought me
sometimes.
to meditation.
Right.
So it always can come good.
Exactly.
If you allow it.
Well, is it really cold? Is it?
Isn't
You
that
know,
the book we last read was the way
the obstacle is the way. Right. The obstacle is the way.
Right, that was me.
So truly, we're right where we just right where we belong. So is it cold or is it a deep, profound truth?
It's true.
That wherever we find ourselves to be is not only a reality we create, but it is also perfect for us in that moment because we created it so that it might be a springboard for something greater. I kind of like that. Something more amazing so that we might have more God experiences. A child once defined gravity as God at the center of earth who keeps people right side up when the world is upside down. I like that. If something seems to be happening that might argue this point, it is but consciousness expressing everything, which is pretty inclusive, isn't it? That is part of our experience is what we have created so that we can experience more of the truth.
Sometimes I say, I can't wait to find out why this shit happened.
Or why this is a blessing. I can't wait to find that pony in here somewhere, right? Now remember, because God, the changeless good, is always there, then peace, joy, light, love, harmony, abundance are also always there.
Open to it.
Exactly. If only God, the changeless God, is always there, then we can walk through these moments, even the intolerable ones, with peace, knowing that they themselves are nothing. They meaning the steps our feet found hard to take, the things our faith found hard to meet. They, if we would but see it, are just a facade that we have invited in so that something greater can be expressed and experienced in and through our lives, individually and collectively. What we know is there is often a breakdown before a breakthrough. The bigger the breakdown, the greater the possibility for a dramatic breakthrough. Author and futurist Barbara Marx Hubbard speaks of the challenges, problems, as evolutionary drivers, and says that crises precede transformation. And didn't that, we talked about, Joy talks about that too, that out of chaos comes order. Out of chaos comes order. Always. Abraham Hicks says that today we are standing on the threshold of transformation. Doesn't it feel like we are? Yeah. And the question is, what do we do about it? Well, let's illustrate the answer to that question with a story. A father needed to choose which of his 3 children he would leave his business to. So, he decided to give them a challenge. He told them that whoever could fill the warehouse for the least amount of money would inherit the business. The eldest child bought sand, a pretty inexpensive way to fill the warehouse, and the father thought the child would probably inherit the business. But the second child bested him by filling it. He bested the first by filling it with foam peanuts. They were even less expensive than the sand. The father thought surely he would be leaving the business to that child. But the third surprised them all by lighting one candle, which filled the room with light. So, the least expensive, right? It is our job in our world today to turn on the light, and we do that by realizing, in the words from A Course in Miracles, nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. Much time do we give our energy and our anxiety and our upsetness to things that cannot be threatened? And what's important, is never threatened. So it's a good thing to think about. On the page of 301 of the Science of Mind, Holmes writes, "Remember, God is the silent power behind all things, always ready to pour into our experience that which we need. We must have a receptive and positive faith in the evidence of things not seen with the physical eye, but which are eternal in the heavens. All is mind, and we must provide a receptive avenue for it as it passes out through us into the outer expression of our affairs. If we allow the world's opinion to control our thinking, then that will be our demonstration. If, on the other hand, we rise superior to the world, we shall create a new pattern. We shall create a new pattern." So we're going to create a new pattern here this morning for our community, for our nation, and for our world. It is time to elect the world leader, and your vote counts. Here are some facts about 3 leading candidates. This is a story. We're not actually talking about electing them. So here are the facts about the 3 leading candidates. So you have to be thinking about which one you would elect here. Candidate A associates with crooked politicians and consults with astrologists. Oh no. He's had 2 mistresses. He also chain smokes and drinks 8 to 10 martinis a day. Candidate B was kicked out of the office twice, sleeps until noon, used opium in college, and drinks a quart of whiskey every evening. Candidate C is a decorated war hero. He's a vegetarian, doesn't smoke, drinks an occasional beer, and hasn't had any extramarital affairs. Which of these candidates would be your choice? Well, let's see who these candidates are. Candidate A is Franklin D. Roosevelt.
I know who B is.
Candidate B is
Churchill?
Winston Churchill.
And he ran around naked.
And candidate C is Adolf Hitler.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Things may not always be as they seem, right? Things are not always as they seem. There is good for you in everything because God is in everything. When you find the good, you find God. When you find the good, you find God. As a nation, as a world, we're at a turning point, an important breakthrough moment. And we can impact that by where we put our attention and focus. On all the horrible things that we believe are happening, or on seeing God, the good that is that which is real, and the only thing that is real in it all. When you make the choice to see God in everything, you have access to a higher power than the problem. It is the transformation, the freedom, the beauty that occurs within us through these troubles where the real gift is found. So, are you really ready now to stretch your mind? Are you? Good. Okay, then here we go. All right, so I was going to say get into small groups of 4 or 5, but I think we can just have one big group right here, okay? And I want you to take about 3 minutes, okay? And I want you to identify as many things as you can that are good, really good, going on in the world right now. We can do this as a group. And if anyone in the group wants to go anywhere else, we will just lovingly point out that we're finding only the good that can come out of our current world situation. So we're going to do this right now. Let's just start talking about what's good.
They're printing more money every day.
They're printing more money every day. Okay, what else is good in the world?
I think people behind the wheel are waking up spiritually, or I'm just seeing it more.
Yeah.
Okay, people are driving better. Okay,
Yeah.
cars are becoming more safer to drive.
Yeah.
Aren't they wonderful? Okay, what else?
The green movement is going to go on. There's millions and millions of people world around that are behind it no matter what.
No matter what.
Yeah.
They're dedicated to taking care of, and Rich and I talked a little bit about that this morning. We said, you know what? It's like whether or not it will have any effect.
And civilized countries, I hate to tell you this, but the United States is a civilized country.
We're
They
talking
have their own
positives.
green gas system
Sure,
going, and
sure.
they,
Yeah,
even
but we're
though they
talking
got
about
on the
the good in the
Paris
world
thing,
right now.
they
Well,
are
she's saying the
doing
good.
their own
Yeah.
thing.
That's
Yes,
good.
they're cleaning
But
up.
even if we
not
choose
like
something
they're not doing
small,
anything.
like we don't use plastic straws anymore, it still is making a difference. Even
Yes.
something small, because a lot of people say, well, the sand dollar story where the little
Yes.
yeah, where they're throwing them back in and they're going, well, you can't save them all. There's thousands of here, and the little girl picks it up. She goes, save that one.
One at a time.
One at a time.
And to that one, I
Right.
made a difference.
And so what else? What else is good? What else is good?
Ellen DeGeneres, I love how she gives
Ah,
to people. who
yes.
come in. I
The
just-
generosity.
Yeah.
The people who have money and they give it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. What else is good?
There's
A
still
lot of them just
tremendous
talk.
benevolence and generosity in the world.
Ariana Grande was
Yeah,
was
sometimes
visiting the
they-
victims in the hospital and giving them hugs.
There's going to be a concert.
Another concert to benefit. Wow. Wow. The giving
Frank
the
Sinatra, as bad as he was, used to secretly give millions to
Yeah.
his
Sure,
wife's
sure. The
home
generosity.
girls,
People are
big
basically
girls,
good,
and they
yeah.
just- a lot of people don't
What
know
else?
they do.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Anything else we can think of that's good?
Kindness.
Kindness. And
The
how
sun
about
comes up every
the sun
day.
comes up every day?
Oh,
It's
yeah, right.
it's summertime. The fruit, fresh fruit and vegetables. Oh my gosh, yes.
It's been a
So-
bounty this year, at least out here.
So this is kind of like what Oprah did with list 100 things you're grateful for. What? Find the good. It's a training exercise. We need to focus our
Only
minds on the
people
good. Focus on the good. Find the good. Find the good and praise it. That was a bumper sticker or license plate. So
And I really feel grateful for all that everyone really is that I know. All that, like in the song, I'm so grateful for all that you are. I can really feel that for everybody I come into contact with, especially the people I love.
right. It's beautiful. So we know this to be the truth because God is all there is. God is all there is. And we choose to see God in everything, to see the highest good for all individuals in all nations, and to trust that only good is unfolding and coming forth, regardless of appearances. Regardless, if you can look at something that gets you right here and go, I know that this is for the highest good, and that only good will come from this. Wow, you're sending a blessing out. You are sending a powerful blessing out there. So that is my charge this week, to do that anytime something gets you right here.
You're gonna be with your daddy.
Yes, to see the highest good for all individuals and all nations, to trust that only good is unfolding and coming forth. And because of this, we are all so very grateful, right? Right, okay. And so it is.